All right, so we should be live on YouTube right now. Welcome to our listeners on Jaw Radio, and welcome to those who are live on YouTube. Today is a different day. This was yesterday's teaching, but because we had internet problems yesterday, we could not broadcast yesterday. So I don't know who this is for. The Most High, it seems, has made this available today. For what reason, I don't know. So this is I think this is a very special teaching, which should really, really open up our eyes to more truths, more and more and more truths. Very important teaching today. It is called The Damnation of the Disobedient Believer. The Damnation of the Disobedient Believer. And it begins with where we have started so many times before, a famine of the word, which is in Amos 8:11-14. There is a famine of the word today, and we are going to get more insights into why there is a famine of the word. Why is there a famine of the word? Why is there so much confusion? Why so many different doctrines and teachings and teachers and beliefs and all sort of things? Why is that? Read, please.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah Elohim, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahuwah.
But of?
Hearing the words of Yahuwah.
Okay. And there is no shortage of hearing the word today. With social media, everywhere you go, you can hear the word. But this hearing here is really funny. Hearing the words of Yahuwah. We can hear the words, but they do not have to be of Yahuwah. What we are largely having in this world today, we are hearing the words of men. Men. Verse 12.
And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. And they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahuwah, and shall not find it.
Shall not find it. Go ahead.
In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, Thy Elohim, O Dan, liveth, and the manna of Beersheba liveth. Even they shall fall and never rise up again.
And these are the idolaters it's speaking about. And we did a teaching a few weeks ago about idolatry. The idolaters shall fall and not rise again. But there will be a famine of the word, and people will be running to and fro, which is what they do on the internet, all over the place, running to hear the words. And it says they will not find it. Why? Because he will only give his word to a few people. To a few, for a few. To a few, for a few. Now, why is there a famine of the word? Well, I tell you fundamentally why there is a famine of the word. Why is there a famine of the word? Every man is doing what is right in his own eyes. Every man doing what is right in his own eyes. The Most High's word is not given to everybody. The Most High works by gifts. He gives gifts to people. That's why Shaul spoke about, if prophecy, let them prophesy. If teach, let them teach. If giving, let them give. Everybody has their little call. But today, how many weeks have I been saying this? Everybody wants to teach. And they will hear from a teacher, and they go on their way, and they dig, and come up. Oh, this is, and come up with their thing. Okay? This is why every man does what is right in his own eyes. And the Most High warned us in Deuteronomy 12, verse 8.
Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day, Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes.
Every man whatsoever, anything that he thinks is right. It's the same. This is what is happening today. Everybody, whatever they think is right in their own eyes, that is what they're giving you as doctrine. Case in point yesterday. Now I'm going to talk about this one. On our teaching about the Setsuana, there is some person there, a woman coming on and teaching. Some Khoisan chief is named Esau. Alluding now, we must be careful when we talk about Esau. Alluding that this woman and the Khoisans are Esau. And now going around and putting it was there about 2 different places or 3 different places on the website. And this is why there is a famine of the word. Every man what is right in his own eyes. Every man out of order. Because she is out of order. The Most High says in 1 Timothy, I forbid a woman to teach or to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So even when a woman goes on social media, she's not to be there arguing with the man. Not to be there arguing with the man to usurp authority over the man. She can tell the man, hey, I beg to differ, I think you are wrong. But not to be there usurping authority over the man. If the man comes at her, she can defend herself, of course. Because if a woman knows something and the man is coming with something that is wrong, and the woman defends and say, hey, and I'm not saying teaching, just tell him that, find a way to show him that that is not what the scriptures say, whatever. But to be there going around with new things, coming with new things. Yes? This is why there's a famine of the word. And social media allows each and every one of us to have a platform, to have an opportunity to speak. And because we have an opportunity to speak, we take that as consent from the Most High. The Most High will allow you to do things. Look when Yasharal wanted a king. He went and cautioned them and said, if you get a king, this will happen. They were determined that they wanted a king. He said, okay to Shaul, okay Shaul, give them a king. So when a woman is teaching, he will send someone to say, hey, don't teach. If the woman continues to teach, he will even make that woman be one of the greatest teachers. But woe be unto her when she has to face him for this disobedience. This is something that you have to understand about the Most High. You cannot take his consent as affirmation against his word. So his word said the woman must not teach. But because you have a platform now, and because you are given some understanding, you are now going out there to teach. You have no idea who you are dealing with. All right? Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. Judges 17, verse 6.
In those days there was no king in Yasharal, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
You see that? Today there is no king in Yasharal. We are awakening, and everybody's awakening all over. People all over awakening, and this one representing himself as having the truth. That one, people run to that one. I saw a comment on a YouTube video, and a person said, oh, you should listen to XYZ. He has the truth. And this and that. And what he was alluding to, I know that that is not the truth. And he says he has the truth. This is what people do. They're running to and fro to try to find the truth. Because every man is doing what is right in his own eyes. There's no king in Yasharal because Yahushua HaMashiach has been removed from much of our congregations. He is the stumbling stone. And if we are to represent HaMashiach, our lives would not be the same. Our lives cannot be, supported in this world. We have to live the lives like of hermits or whatever. it is not a nice life. So most people kind of push a Mashiach aside. They will talk about his words now and again, but they don't really want to live like him, which is the way to salvation. Proverbs 28:26. The remedy to the famine of the word is to hearken unto counsel. You have to find the persons who the Most High has given the authority to teach his word in this time and hearken unto counsel from them. Proverbs 28. Let's start there, verse 26.
He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool,
Ugh.
but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
Go again. He that does what?
He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
So we just showed that every man walk after his own, whatever is right in his own eyes. It says, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. So that is a fool. We have a whole world of fools today. A whole world of fools that are going after the desires of their own heart. That's why you have a famine of the word. Because they do not what. You know how many people come to just a word and come and then they just leave. You know the amount of people that have come and left. Because the word is hard. And they will leave and they will criticize and they will say this. The word is hard. And the average human being does not want the true hard word. So everybody goes according to the desires of their own hearts. And in Proverbs 28:26, it tells us that they are fools. Go to Proverbs 12:15 now. Let's hear about these fools.
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes,
Oh boy.
but he that hearkeneth not unto but
Read it
he
again.
that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise.
There we go. If we trust in our hearts, we are fools. And the way of a fool is right in his own eyes. That means fools who trust in our own heart, whatever we come out with, that is going to be right. You see, I told you that it was in the teaching.
Yes.
Whatever they are going to pick up the scriptures and they're going to see, yes, this is right. Because you trust in your own heart. And this I prepared this a long time ago. So when we had that conversation, you realize that I didn't put it in. He that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So when the Most High sends you to someone, that person gives you counsel, and you run and go into your own counsel. You know how many people have come here, and they go into the scriptures. They say, oh, we must search the scriptures, and we must know the scriptures for ourselves. And when they go and what they present to me, I tell them, but that is error. That's straight error. And when I explain it, sometimes they relent, sometimes not. They hold on. Error. Because the Most High works in order. And I'm not saying this to elevate myself. I'm saying this to tell you the truth. The Most High works in order. If he sends you to someone for the person to teach you, he's not going to make you a teacher over the person. Never, never. I was in congregation of Yahweh and there was Pastor Walker there. And when I left, I never tried to be a teacher over Pastor Walker. Never. Even though I know that they were at a certain level. And the only thing missing, they did not accept who we are as a people. But I would never go back and try to teach him. Because the Most High works in what? Order. That's who the Most High has called for that level. I cannot go back and try to exalt myself over him or belittle him. Understand? You cannot be sent to a teacher, you will be there and teach you. But Yahweh would be there, send you to someone. And you got spiritual understanding that this is the person that he has sent me to. And then all of a sudden, the Most High says, no man, teach him. If you were to teach him, the Most High would have told you from the beginning. that is the person that I'm sending you to tell this. He's not going to let you be under the person and then now you go and teach the person. For me, Pastor Walker would have to come and hear the teachings and whatever and come and speak to me. I would never try to undermine him. But the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. And this is what we're going to show throughout. It's listening, it's hearing the authority of the Most High that takes us out of the famine of the world, that takes us out of damnation. So obeying the Most High's voice is the only way. Exodus 19:5. Obeying the Most High's voice is the only way to salvation. Not my voice, but the voice of the Most High. Exodus 19:5.
Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed,
Obey my voice. Continue.
and keep my commandment, and keep my covenant,
And keep my covenants. Two things. Obey my voice and keep my covenant. Then
then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
If you will obey. So when we come to the Most High, we have to figure out if we are obeying Him. Simple. Are we obeying? If you are being taught by someone, is this person teaching me obedience to the Most High? And keeping His covenant? Two very important questions. So, without obedience, though, if you don't obey His voice, you are going to be lost in religion. Religion is that thing that satisfies most people online. I don't know how I could be satisfied by religion. Religion satisfies you in doing certain routines, not necessarily routines of the Most High. Most of the time, routines of man. Yes? Which goes against the way of the Most High. Matthew 15, verses 8 to 9. This religion is going to get us be condemned, be damned. And most people today are in religion, just walking, waiting to be damned. Read it, please.
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoureth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
So we taught the talk. We talk the talk. We say, oh, Yahuwah, Yahusha, which is this and that. And we talk and talk. And we say, oh, praises to the Most High. Oh, great Yahuwah, you are great. And honor me with their lips. Well, what the Most High is concerned about is the heart. This is what people are missing when they are avoiding Yahusha. Yahusha is the evidence that your heart is with the Most High. Yahusha's evidence is his willingness to sacrifice himself for us, to do the will of Yahuwah, to offer up himself for us. We know, we talk, we speak, we even present ourselves as holy and everything. When you go on our timeline, you see everything, Yahuwah, Yahusha, and that's all we talk about. But our hearts are far from him. Because our hearts have to be surrendered totally to him, given to him. This is my life, Father. Use it. I have no life, which is denying self. I have no life. Whatever you want to do with me. If you even want to kill me, kill me. I don't care. This is the heart that the Most High wants. But verse 9 says, Matthew 15,
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
in vain. In vain. Vanity! Teaching the doctrine, for doctrines, the commandments of men. This is what happens in organized religion. Churches and Hebrew Israelism, all of those things that are organized and get a banner. That's why people ask me, so what do you call yourself? People are so interested. What are you interested? I'm a follower of the way. Why do we have to have a label? The way is a way of life. It's just how you live. It's not a religion that you can slap a label on it and say, oh, this religion believes in this. We follow the way, we follow the Messiah. Very simple. So we are in religion, damned in religion, lost in religion, if we follow the way. So we can only be right with the Most High if we are in obedience. No two ways about it. So as believers today, how many of us check ourselves and ask ourselves, am I in obedience to the Most High? I sit down and worry about it every day. If you see a little gray hair sticking out, maybe that causes it. I just want to make sure that I'm in obedience because I know the importance of it. Yeah? How many of you sit and examine yourself? Am I in obedience at this time? Man, every time, sometimes I'm here sitting and I'm going, searching myself, wonder what is wrong, what is off. Yeah? Isaiah 58, 1-5.
Cry aloud.
Hold on, please, let me catch up. Go ahead.
Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
So this is a sinful people now. They act as if they are not sinful. They act as if they are good. They are okay. The Most High is sending Isaiah to talk to these people because they are seeking me and acting as if they are in righteousness. Verse 2.
Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways.
Isn't this what happens today on the internet? Every day they seek Yahuwah and delight to know his ways, acting as if they are righteous. Read from verse 1 into 2.
Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinances of their allure. They ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to Yahuwah.
So what Yahuwah knows their hearts, and Yahuwah does not listen. And by the way, this is for every one of us. I'm not excluding myself out of this. All right? So when you hear me say they, don't think I'm saying, okay, I am this, I'm that. I have to include myself, whatever it is, just in case there is something not right. So, Yahuwah is not listening to them when they approach unto him. Verse 3.
Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors.
So the Most High is saying that the heart has to be with him. They are fasting, and they are living their lives just the same. Finding pleasure, exacting their labors, just the same. Verse 4.
Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high.
So they are fasting for all the wrong reasons. Their hearts are not right. Verse 5.
Is it such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast, and an acceptable day to Yahuwah?
So these people bowing down their heads and spreading sackcloth and all this. It does not matter to the Most High if your heart is not right. If your heart is not right, whatever you do, whatever sacrifice you offer, it is nothing before the Most High. You could fast every single day for 100 days. It does not matter if your heart is not right. And this is what is afflicting us today as believers. Our hearts are not right because we rub out a Mashiach out of the picture. So no matter what sacrifice we offer, disobedience is rebellion against the Most High. It will get us nowhere. 1 Samuel, we're going to do 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15, start at verse 1. We're going to look at the account of Shaul or Saul, and we're going to see how many things we can learn from that incident about us as believers. Let me tell you something, and before we go, see when you're in disobedience. You see when you're in disobedience, we are very, very close to the rejection of the Most High. This is a very scary teaching to me. When you're in disobedience, and I can tell you, one of the disobedience most people are in, Most High says, flee out of the midst of Babylon. We give teachings, we have been teaching on it for how long? Maybe 3 years, non-stop, 4 years, maybe. There are people who are hearing it, and people are there, and everywhere, and refuse to do anything. Even if they do anything, they refuse to move. They refuse to flee. I'm going to show you in this how dangerous that is. Because the Most High considers it to be rebellion. When the Most High speaks and we don't move, He considers it rebellion, which He equates to witchcraft. And witchcraft has a death penalty on it. Yes? Many people have heard. Many people agree. Up to yesterday, we did another teaching. Arise and depart. That showed 12 different instances in the Bible where before the Most High does His thing, we have to move out or move away before He executes His wrath. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. That is a burden to many people because it is convicting a lot of people without them even knowing. Let's go back to 1 Samuel 15. We're going to see what it says. 1 Samuel 15, verse 1.
Samuel also said unto Shaul, Yahuwah sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Yasharal. Now therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah.
So because Yahuwah wanted him to be king, the first instruction is, therefore, you see, because He has called me to anoint you to be king, hear the word of the Most High. Listen to Him, obey Him. Verse 2.
Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, I remember that which Amalek did to Yasharal, how he laid wait for him in the way, when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey.
Wow. Even the donkey, the poor donkey, who wasn't involved, kill them too. Reminds me of the martial arts movie when you were little, when the fox would come in. I just love this one. I don't know. I never forget it. When the fox would come in, and the fox would say, kill them. And And the other people, the person who gave the order would say, what about the babies? And the fox would say, kill the babies too. Yeah? Yeah? That's in the martial arts movies. It's the same thing here. So no matter what sacrifice, let's go there. Kill everything. Destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. That's instruction from the Most High. So the Most High's instructions can be very challenging. It might seem unreasonable to us. It might seem even unrighteous to some of us. But it is what it is. We are not to go into our own heart now and trust in Yahuwah with all thine heart, one of my favorite set of verses, and lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So we have to follow what Yahuwah says. That is a charge on us. Continue.
And Shaul gathered the people together and numbered them in Talam, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Yehuda. And Shaul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Shaul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get ye down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Yasharal when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites.
You see there again? You see, flee out of the midst of Babylon? When the Most High is coming to destroy, it says, depart, get you from among them, lest I destroy you with them. That's Yahuwah. For you showed kindness to all the children of Yasharal. So you showed kindness. You are good. But if you stay with them, you're going to be destroyed. What is that saying for the righteous people who are in Babylon and don't want to leave? Lest I destroy you with them. Continue verse 7.
And Shaul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
And destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But did he destroy all the people? All right, just give me a break, please. Let me share this video on YouTube. It is Sunday. Maybe one Christian will be looking for something to watch, and there will be a miracle, and they will listen to this. All right? Okay, then. And then over against Egypt. And then verse 8.
He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
But, wait. In verse 3, what did he say in verse 3?
In verse 3, he said, Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman.
All right, that's all we need. Agag is a man. Shaul spared Agag. Or Agag. Go to verse 8 again.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Shaul and the people spared Agag.
Oh boy.
And the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, and they destroyed utterly.
I'm telling you. That's why when Remember, you give this testimony today, my sister, about the pants. Remember that? You destroyed everything else easily. But when it came to the pants, it's a similar thing here.
Yes.
They destroyed everything that was vile and refuse. They destroyed that utterly. But the best of the sheep, Agag was the king, so he was the best of the Amalekites. The best of the sheep, the best of the fatlings and the lambs, and all that was good. They would not utterly destroy them. That's us. When we are called to make sacrifices unto Yahuwah, to give up certain things to Yahuwah, we might give up a little. But can someone tell me one of the hardest things for people to give up? What is the hardest thing for people to give up? Material things. What is the hardest thing for people to give up? Material.
House?
Yes. Yeah, the house. That is the hardest thing for us to give up. Yes? Another one is the car. The car. That's another one. Anyway, go to 10.
Then came the word of Yahuwah unto Shamuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Shaul to be king,
Oh boy.
for he is turned back from following me.
Wait. So Shaul partially completed the commands. This thing, and the Most High says he's turned back from following me. Man, the Most High is exact. It's not an easy road, people. He is turned back from following me and hath not performed thy commandments. He partially did it. But the Most High canceled and said, what he did is nothing to me. Verse 12.
And it grieved Shamuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And when Shamuel rose early to meet Shaul in the morning, it was told Shamuel, saying, Shaul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Shamuel came to Shaul, and Shaul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahuwah. I have performed the commandment of Yahuwah.
All right. So when you're in disobedience too, it turns you into a liar. When you're in disobedience, it turns you into a liar. You didn't do it, but you said you have done it. Verse 14.
And Shamuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear?
But the Most High will give somebody the insight to know that you are lying. And that's what happens here. Continue.
And Shaul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Eluah, and the rest we have utterly destroyed.
All right, hear this again now. Look at this. They have brought them up from the Amalekites. Shaul is now blaming the people. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen. This is for us as leaders. To sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Eluah, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. You hear where he put the we? The part where they obeyed the commandments. But the part where it was disobeyed, he put it on the people. This is us for leaders, and I'm talking about men. Because I was speaking today to our brothers and sisters here. And we were speaking about how the responsibility is on the men to lead the women. We cannot say when a woman misbehaves under our charge as a husband, you cannot blame it and say, my wife did this. The Most High is blaming you. You have to be responsible. You have to take charge. You have to take charge. Continue.
Then Shamuel said unto Shaul, Stay, and I will tell thee what Yahuwah hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Shamuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Yasharal? And Yahuwah anointed thee king over Yasharal. And Yahuwah sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahuwah, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Yahuwah? And Shaul said unto Shamuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of Yahuwah,
Oh boy. Still lying. And I've done what?
and have gone the way which Yahuwah sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek,
He didn't tell you to do that.
and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites.
You did not do that. You see? Disobedience. What we're using this for, people, is to show disobedience in us as believers. Partially obeying the commandments. Not doing what we're supposed to do, but alluding that, yes, we have done it. Verse 21. It is... you see this command about flee out of the midst of Babylon. Many of us refuse to actually literally flee. We are there spending our time trying to even convince people to flee. And we tell them, oh, this is what we're doing, and this is what we should do, and everything. But they're not doing it. Partially obeying, not even partially obeying. This is very similar. Yeah? You're going around preaching about it, teaching about it, but being the hypocrite, just speaking and not doing. And have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. Verse 21, now he's going to blame the people.
But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Eluah in Gilgal. And Shamuel said, Hath Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices?
Hold on there. Verse 21. The people took of the spoil of the sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahuwah thy Eluah in Gilgal. So the people know if they sacrifice, they can eat of the sacrifices. So they smartly, you know what? We're going to sacrifice unto Yahuwah. It is like us today. We hear commands from the Most High what we must do. Case in point, Christianity. Christians have missionaries. They will go all over the world into some remote places and some deep jungles and everything to preach the word of Yahuwah. Sacrifice. They will leave their jobs. Sacrifice. But they continue to eat pork. They continue to worship on Sundays. Disobeying the Sabbath. They continue to do all the abominations of Christianity. Yet still, they're going to the jungles, braving snakes and diseases to reach the people. But that doesn't please the Most High. No matter what we do, it is obedience he wants. Hamashiach learned obedience from the things that he suffered. Obedience may come with suffering. This is the problem with the world. The world does not want to suffer. Obedience brings suffering. But we want sacrifice. So when the Most High tells us to flee out of the midst of Babylon, Instead of obeying, we stay and we do all sorts of different things, thinking that justifies us. He said, flee, you flee. He said, go, you go. Otherwise, we might end up like Shaul. Verse 22.
And Shamuel said, Hath Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice,
Yes.
and to hearken than the fat of rams.
To obey and to hear and do is better than the fat of rams. No matter what we do, it's obedience, people. This is what is wrong with the world. This is why you have a famine of the world. We have a whole world of people in disobedience because obedience is too hard. Hamashiach said, if any man come after me, let him deny himself. How many people have heard us say that every week and have denied themselves? Because Babylon has made us concentrate so much on the self. When it comes to serve Yahusha now, we cannot deny ourselves. And so we go everywhere and we get our own doctrines and we get our own things. You need to learn and hear and listen from people who deny themselves. Otherwise, you're going to be the fool who trusts in his own heart and leans on his own understanding. Verse 23.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahuwah,
There we go now.
he hath also rejected thee from being king.
You see, people? You see the danger of this thing here? As we're talking about fleeing out of the midst of Babylon. You have heard the word so many times. And you sit down. You have rejected the word of Yahuwah. Yahuwah calls that rebellion, which he compares with witchcraft. And he calls it stubbornness, which he compares to iniquity and idolatry. Because it's some idolatry that has you rooted where you are. Some idolatry, something that you don't want to let go of or cannot let go of. I speak the truth, I speak no lie. I don't care if anyone wants to listen to me after this. The truth is the truth. I am called to bring a message, I bring the message. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahuwah, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Man, this is a very powerful word. But when I see these words here, I tremble in my heart. Searching myself. Hey. Verse 24.
And Shaul said unto Shamuel, I have sinned.
Okay. So here is the problem. He did not confess that he sinned before. He waited until the judgment. When Yahuwah says, I have rejected you, then he confessed that he had sinned. Had he confessed before, Yahuwah, being the merciful Elohim that he is, would probably have forgiven him. Read 24 again there, my brother.
And Shaul said unto Shamuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandments of Yahuwah and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
And done what?
Obeyed their voice.
No, you know that me, I know that I am not going to leave this flee out of the midst of Babylon thing. Because just like Shaul says, Yahuwah did not call me to baptize, but to preach the gospel. Yahuwah called me to preach. Judah, go home. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Because I fear the people and obey their voice. How many people have heard the word and they're telling me, oh, my uncle, my brother, my sister, my wife does not want to hear, my daughter, my children don't want this. And people will come to you and say, oh, this and that, and talk against it. Whose voice are you going to obey? Whose voice? Shaul here confessed that he obeyed the voice of the people. Verse 25, he asks for pardon.
Now, therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahuwah. And Shamuel said unto Shaul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Yahuwah, and Yahuwah hath rejected thee from being king over Yasharal.
Whoa. Man. If I have rejected any of the word of Yahuwah, I ask Yahuwah forgive me right now. Oh, this is a serious thing. Ask him forgiveness before any judgment. Verse 27.
And as Shamuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. And Shamuel said unto him, Yahuwah hath rent the kingdom of Yasharal from thee this day, and hath given it to a neighbor of thine, that is better than thou. And also the strength of Yasharal will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent.
All right, go down to... Yeah, continue.
Then said he, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, and before Yasharal, and turn again with me, that I may worship Yahuwah thy Eluah.
So Shaul was more interested in honor, in getting the honor from men. Notice it? Verse 31.
So Shamuel turned again after Shaul, and Shaul worshipped Yahuwah. Then said Shamuel, Bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past.
Because you see a prophet now and said, surely this prophet is not going to do anything. Verse 33.
And Shamuel said, As thy sword hath made woman childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Shamuel hewed Agag in pieces before Yahuwah in Gilgal. Then Shamuel went to Ramah.
In pieces.
And
Man. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Continue.
Then Shamuel went to Ramah, and Shaul went up to his house to Gibeah of Shaul. And Shamuel came no more to see Shaul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Shamuel mourned for Shaul, and Yahuwah repented that he hath made Shaul king over Yasharal.
Man.
Wow.
Ooh, Father. Let's set up that thing for me, please. This is... So, rebellion is as witchcraft. And if we rebel, he will not give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now, we're going now to the word. Because remember, we started by saying the famine of the word. And it's caused by disobedience. So we're showing now why we have a famine of the word, why most people cannot understand the word, why it is not given to them. So when we disobey, it is rebellion. And if we rebel, he will not give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So if we have a whole world of people that are obeying, we have a whole world of people without Yahuwah's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Job 32 verse 8 there, sir. Job 32, verse 8.
But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
So without the inspiration of the Almighty, we cannot get understanding. Go to verse 9.
Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment.
So understanding is not always given to great men. Yahuwah has to give it to them. Ecclesiastes 2:26.
For Yahuwah giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom, and knowledge, and joy. But to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before Yahuwah. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit.
What is this? What is this? Let me get this thing. I must be able to remove this user here. Because you're not here. This person just comes on, just like yesterday, and just comes on talking total unrelated thing. All right. Ecclesiastes 2:26, for Alua giveth to a man that is good in his sight, wisdom and knowledge and joy. So if you are disobedient, when he says, when we say disobedience is rebellion, and he says rebellion is as witchcraft, if we are disobedient, then he will not give us his wisdom and his knowledge, and he will not give us joy. Simple. But to the sinner, he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before Alua. So, if we are disobedient, there is no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding, no joy. Because all of that comes from Yahuwah. So, it is obedience and righteousness over sacrifice. Psalms 50, verse 7 to 17. Obedience and righteousness over sacrifice. Hold on, please. Yes.
Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Yasharal, and I will testify against thee. I am Yahuwah, even thy Alua. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices, or thy burnt offerings, to have been continually before me.
So the Most High is stating straight, the sacrifices, yeah? You don't have to have these sacrifices before me all the time. What the Most High wants is obedience, people. Continue, please.
I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he-goats out of thy folds. For every beast of the forest is mine.
Hiccup.
Yeah.
Need to drink some water. Some water.
For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto Yahuwah thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High.
This is what the Most High wants. Thanksgiving and pay thy vows. That's what the Most High wants. Pay thy vows. The vows there is the Hebrew word nachder, which means a promise to Alua. Also concretely, a thing promised. When you come into the covenant, you make promises unto Alua according to the covenant. So you must do your part in the covenant. As soon as you feel it going, just swallow the water at the same time it's coming. Okay. Yeah. So pay thy vows unto the Most High, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt exalt me. So those who don't pay their vows now, nor offer thanksgiving, the Most High refers to them as wicked. And in verse 16 it says,
But unto the wicked Yahuwah saith, What hast thou to do? What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. These are the who? Disobedient. Disobedient people who reject the instructions of Yahuwah and cast his words behind them. Yahuwah calls them what? Wicked. Wicked. So many of us are in religion, calling on the name of Yahuwah, etc., but the Most High calls us wicked. And we are there thinking that we are good, not knowing that the Most High considers us wicked. People, disobedience. Let me just cut a long story short. 100% obedience unto death. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I've been reading all along. Obedience. That's the only thing that's important. Seeing thou hatest instruction. And look at the meaning of instruction. 17. Instruction is, look at what you hate here. And when I say you, I mean we. But I'm talking to you. So I say you. D. Musar. From H3256. Properly chastisement. What have we been looking at for this week? Wasn't it chastening? So because you hate chastening, you don't pay your vows. You hate instruction. You find a way to walk around the Most High's instructions. You dance your way around. And then you justify yourself that I did the right thing. That's what comes next. Self-justification. I am right and they are wrong. Because I have found a comfort zone. I am going to set up a fortress in this comfort zone. Nobody can tell me anything. Chastisement. And that's why we tell you, you come here at Nazareth, chastisement is the order of the day. Because if you're here, it means Yahuwah loves you. And the word says, who Yahuwah loves, he chastens and scourges every son he receives. That's Hebrews 12:14. I said, I'm going to try to remember it this time. Let me see if my memory is good. Tell me if I need a flogging here. Hebrews 12:14. Let me see if I need a flogging. Yes, I need a flogging. It's Hebrews 12, is it? Verse 4, verse 6. I need a flogging. Hebrews 12, verse 6.
For whom Yahuwah loveth, he chasteneth, and scourges every son whom he receiveth.
He scourges every son he receives. The meaning of scourge. The meaning of scourgeth. Let me show you something about this way. That's why you have so many unrighteousness and so much unrighteous believers and the famine of the word. Scourge means to flog. So if you come to the Most High, he's going to flog you. And that means he loves you. So if you come to Nazareth and you're getting scourging and it means that Yahuwah's love is here. Because his discipline, which is chastening, And his scourging is just like a child to get that child along the right path. Let's get back to where we were. Where were we again? Oh yes, you hate instruction and cast your words behind you. So you hate chastening. So because you hate chastening, you find your way out, thinking smartly that you can outfox Yahuwah. Yahuwah is not mocked. So the problem, and it all begins with Matthew, what? Some people they must say just a word as some one verse. Oh, that one verse channel. One verse. It all begins with denying self or the Messiah, and hence the scriptures will be a stumbling block. But we're not going to Matthew 16:24. If we were in the world, I would say I tricked you, but I didn't know that is what I didn't remember that this one was before Matthew 16:24. So it begins with denying self or the Messiah, and hence scriptures will be a stumbling block. The reason we have a famine of the word is because the Messiah is a stumbling block. People are trying to avoid him because it comes with pain. You know, to really follow Hamashiach. Sometimes you read all the books of Nazarene, and you look at it and say, whoa, this is heavy. And then he's just so stern, and he's just so plain, and he just speaks it like it is easy. So easy. The road is austere. We're going to read it before it ends. Isaiah 28, verse 16.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Allure, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation.
He that believeth shall not make haste. You see? Hamashiach is just there. Believe or don't believe. There's just two ways. And to believe means to follow everything that he says. Thing is to be plugged in. Sorry about that. Check. 1, 2. All right. Whoa. All right. So self is the hindrance. Self is the hindrance. I just glance down and see people arguing about Egypt. Where Egypt is today, do you believe that that is actually truly really Egypt? That's the thing to consider. Those persons arguing about Egypt. Did the Bible tell you about a place with pyramids and all of those things? Did it describe Egypt as it is? Understand that the place names have been changed, people. The Bible has been distorted to suit the Gentiles, all right? Just giving you something to think about. Anyway, self is the hindrance. Matthew 16:24.
Then said Yahusha unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his stake and follow me.
That's it. If we don't deny ourselves, you see this verse here. You see this verse here, Matthew 16:24. You see, if you don't do this, you might as well pack up your things and go in Babylon and go and party and drink and get drunk all night, because you're going to be wasting your time. If you don't deny yourself and take up your stake and follow Yahushua HaMashiach, you are just going to be in religion. And remember we said in Matthew 15:8-9, in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So it all begins with denying the self, because the self is the hindrance. Babylon has fashioned us to be so unable to follow the way of truth of the Bible. Because Babylon has fashioned us to worship the self. Idolatry, self, me, my, I. Babylon has fashioned us in that way. It is completely, almost impossible for most of us to actually say deny ourselves and give up ourselves to serve Yahuwah who we cannot see. We will prefer to give up ourselves to someone who we can see, because many people have even killed themselves for people. Woman killed herself because she lose the man. Man killed himself because he lose the woman. But will we offer up ourselves to Yahuwah who we cannot see? So, the disobedient, remember, if you don't deny yourself, you cannot be obedient. Because the self is going to keep pushing itself in the way. The self is going to keep pushing up its importance. And it's going to make it seem as if, hey, if you don't satisfy me, hey, nothing is going to go right. You have to satisfy me. 1 Peter 4:17, New Testament, judgment for the disobedient.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahuwah. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahuwah?
All right, let's stop there. What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahuwah? Obey not is G544. What is the meaning of obey not? Meaning of obey not. Let me get this thing up. Where is it? Not this. Up. Obey not would be here. Obey not, H544, I said. H544. That's what I said? I don't know. Yes, H544. Obey not. Let me get it on the screen because it's very important. The word obey not is the Greek word omen. Omen. And it means faithfulness. No, that's not the one that I want. This is not the one. You sure it's H544? Obey not. It's G544. What am I doing? I'm sorry about that. G544. Oh man. It's apiteo. Apiteo. Those that obey not the gospel. Look what it means. Disobedient. Unbelieving. Believe not. But look at the usage. Not to allow one's self to be persuaded. So the Most High sent you people to teach you. And because you refuse to allow yourself to be persuaded, you obey not the gospel. To refuse or withhold belief. To refuse belief and obedience. Not to comply with. I told you when I was speaking today that it's a teaching. Not to comply with. So you don't want to comply. It says, what does Kefa say in 1 Peter? What is going to be the end of these people? What shall... Read 17 again, please.
For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahuwah. And if it first begin at us. What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahuwah? And if the righteous scarcely be saved,
Scarcely.
be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
If the righteous, the ungodly and the sinner refers to even those who obey not. Those are the believers who refuse to obey, refuse to believe. Go and find their own doctrines. Go and find their own scriptures to justify their disobedience. Read verse 19.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of Yahuwah commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful Creator.
You see the contrast. Those who suffer according to the will of Allah, these are those who are chastened and scourged. They are suffering. But it is the will of Yahuwah that they suffer, because when they suffer, they can be purged and cleansed and reborn. So the contrast is with those who do not obey, who don't want to obey, and those who are willing to suffer according to the will of Allah. Commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing. So while we're suffering, we're still doing well, as unto a faithful Creator. So guess what? We are in a dilemma, because we have to obey, and our hearts are going to lead us to try to go to a convenient place where we are comfortable in the flesh. And if we leave us up to ourselves, we are going to be in our comfort zone. That's why I tell people you cannot be perfect by yourself, because your heart is going to lead you to comfort. You're going to be sitting here, you're going to be sitting praying, you're singing, you're everything. When you go out, you talk about the word. But put somebody to live with you. In Jamaica, you have a saying, see me and live with me are two different things. See me and live with me are two different things. Which means to see me and to live with me are two different things. You see a person and that person will be good, and everything, and you have a great relationship. Go and live with that person. That is when the unrighteousness that is in you will come out, and the unrighteousness that is in the person will come out. That is why the Most High says, gather yourselves together. In the wilderness of the people. He puts together a whole lot of people with different backgrounds, with different deficiencies and different things, that say, live together. And if you can't live together, you can't enter my kingdom. How can we not be able to live together with the Most High's chosen? We say we are chosen. They are chosen. Yet still we can't live together. So what are you going to do in the kingdom? Quarrel? So it puts you to a halfway house, Nazareth, and says, stay there and learn to live together and be perfected together. And then when you're ready, I'll take you into the kingdom. Simple. Where am I? So the Most High has mercy upon us because he's merciful. And he says, you know what? My people have been lost sheep. Where is that verse? I didn't plan it, but it just came to me. Papa. It's in Ezekiel. Jeremiah. I need a beating today. Today's a beating. Jeremiah. verse 4. Start at 4.
In those days, and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the children of Yasharal shall come, they and the children of Yehuda, together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahuwah their allure. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherwards, saying, Come, and let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
So this is around the time now, before Babylon's destruction, when we are asking our way to Zion. The Most High says, you know what? They are asking their way to Zion. But my people, verse 6.
My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, the habitation of justice, even Yahuwah, the hope of their fathers.
And what is the instruction of the Most High?
Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks.
Leave out. And when you leave out, guess what? He says, the shepherds have devoured them. The shepherds have caused them to go astray. So you know what? I'm going to give them shepherds. This is how the Most High rescues us. In this end time, the Most High has called out people to rescue his people. And the people who have a disobedient heart cannot see who these people are. Even if they see it, they just want to hear a little unpleasant, things that are unpleasant to them. And then all of a sudden, something is wrong with, they find fault. Okay? Where am I? So in comes the preacher through Yahuwah's mercies. Faith comes from hearing, and hearing those sent. From the New Testament, Romans 10, verse 13. To 14.
For whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahuwah shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? How shall they hear without a preacher?
How shall they hear without a preacher? You see, the people on our believers today, internet believers, most of us get our fellowship from the internet, sadly. Because most people are not able to gather together with like-minded people. It's either that or you're in a false Christian church. But it is telling you that the Most High sends chosen people, preachers, according to the heart of Yahuwah. Preachers. How shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? So let me go it backward. How shall they hear without a preacher? So the preacher lets them hear, hearing lets them believe, and believing will let them call on him. You have to go backwards. Let's go again. The preacher preaches, they hear, when they hear, they believe, and when they believe, they will call on the name of Yahuwah. Simple. So the meaning of preacher, let's go to the meaning of preacher. We'll go back to, where is the meaning of obey not? Let's go to the meaning of preacher, which is, what did I just say? G2784. G2784. The preacher is a herald, to proclaim after the manner of a herald, to proclaim openly. So you have to have a preacher who will proclaim the word of the Most High for you to hear, and when you hear, you believe. When you believe, you call upon the name of Yahuwah. But hearing now, not everyone who hears will believe. So first you have to hear. But out of all those who hear, only some will believe. Romans 10:15. Only some who hear will believe.
How shall they preach except they be sent?
Okay. So the person who we are listening to, who is preaching, that person must be sent. Now here's a trick in the end time now. How do you know that someone is sent? That is the hard part, but it's easy. Try the spirits. For many false prophets have gone out into this world. And what did it say? By their fruits you shall know them. You know them by their fruits. And the fruits, the main fruit that I use is money, 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 money. Because money runs online ministering today. If you see people are money being the thing, money being the core of their thing, then it's a problem for me. How shall they preach except they be sent? Go on.
As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things.
But these people now have preached good things. They have been sent. But verse 16 says,
but they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah saith, Yahuwah, who hath believed our report?
They have not all obeyed the gospel. So this preacher has been sent, but nobody, not all, wants to obey. And the meaning of obey there is hupaku, which means to hear under, as a subordinate. We live in a world in which no one really wants to be subordinate. Why do you think you have so many people running over the internet, trying to find the word for themselves? They do not want to subordinate themselves to any leader. Some will tell you, point back, I won't let you lead me. I won't let a man lead me. I want this, I don't want this. Everybody wants to lead themselves. They have not all obeyed the gospel to hear under as a subordinate. That is to listen attentively. Because they have what? Itching ears running all over the place. So they don't have time to sit and listen to one person. They don't have time to sit and listen attentively. By implication, to heed or conform to a command or authority. People don't want to heed to authority today, so they won't obey the gospel. You know that there's a word here again that I need to look at. Because if you don't obey the gospel, you know that there's a judgment for those who don't obey the gospel. 2 Thessalonians 1, verse 6. Start at 6, please.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahuwah to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you, and to you who are troubled, rest with us. When the Master Yahusha shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels.
Let's see what Hamashiach is going to do when he comes to those who don't obey the gospel. Go ahead.
In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Alua, and that obey not the gospel of our Master Yahusha Hamashiach.
Yeah. You see it? You see the correction? Who shall be what? Verse 9.
Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of Yahuwah and from the glory of his power.
You see what is awaiting us today? All of us on the internet running all over thinking that we are preachers and teachers. Huh? Thank you, Chloe, for sharing this video. Imagine what is awaiting us in flaming fire, the same Mashiach that whose name we are calling. And we decide that I'm not going to listen to this person. I'm going to teach myself. I'm going to this. In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahuwah and that obey not the good news of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of Yahuwah and from the splendor of his power, when he shall come to be exalted in his saints and to be admired in all them that believe. Because our testimony among you was believed in that day. It was believed, but they have not all obeyed. They have not all believed the gospel. Yeah, this is a serious thing here. But let me get back to it. Man. So be obedient. So the disobedient. Hamashiach is coming back to destroy the disobedient. You could be a believer 1,000,000 times. So, faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahuwah. Romans 10:17.
So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahuwah.
Faith cometh from hearing, so we have to obey the gospel. So faith comes by hearing, so your faith is built when you hear. And that hearing has to be by the word of Yahuwah. Not just anything. It's hearing the word of Yahuwah. When it is given to you by those whom he has sent, to preach the word to you and you hear it, that's when your faith is built. Now, guess what happens now? That impacts this faith. People who are disobedient, lacking in faith, are used by Hasatan to attack the word of the Most High and to cause people to be weakened in faith. People, if you have a leader and you believe that person is sent by the Most High, do not let any person lead you away from that person. The Most High will show you if you are to leave that person. Yes? Because faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Allah, not hearing gossip. Not hearing what another person says, and you think that is not where faith comes from. It comes from hearing the word of Allah. Are you hearing the word? Is that person teaching the word of Yahuwah? That's what you need to find out. Verse 18.
But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world.
In other words, there will be people who hear, but will they hear? Continue.
But I say, did not Yasharal know? First Moses saith, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. But Isaiah is very bold, and saith, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asketh not after me.
Verse 21.
But to Yasharal he saith, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people.
Unto a what?
disobedient, and gainsaying people.
Nothing has changed, people. These are our people. Disobedient. And you know that gainsaying there. That gainsaying there. Someone who is rebellious, who always wants to argue. Gainsaying. Antilego. To dispute. To refuse. To answer again. To contradict. To deny. To speak against. You see it? I told you it was today's teaching. Speak against. Answer again. To dispute. Disobedient and dispute every word. Because you do not want to conform. Because your flesh will not allow you to. Because you love this world. And you love your money. Yes? And you love the things of this world. Hey. But if we will not hear, we will not understand. Hearing and understanding directly connected. Matthew 13:13.
Therefore, speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
So we hear, but we don't hear. In other words, people talk and we are there listening. As we say in Jamaica, it goes through one ear and goes through the other. Go through the other. Nothing is registered in here. Verse 14.
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Elijah.
Of Isaiah.
Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive.
So many people they will hear the word, but they will not understand it, because it's not registered in their minds, in their hearts. Verse 15.
For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
So if we don't have the eyes, the ears, and the heart to understand, we will be deaf, dumb, and blind. We will not understand the scripture. And if we will not hear, the word will destroy us. This is why you have a famine of the word. Just look into all that we're doing. Put them together and put this world today. If we do not hear, the word will destroy us. Isaiah 28:11-13. In Isaiah 28, verses 9-10, it tells you that precepts upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little, there a little, will make us get knowledge and understand doctrine. But in 11-13, it tells us, those of us who will not hear, that it's the same word that made us understand doctrine and receive knowledge, the same word is going to destroy us. No different word, it's the very same word. Verse 11.
For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to his people, to whom he said, This is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing.
Yet they would not hear. So because they don't want to hear, what happens?
But the word of Yahuwah was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
You see? Those who do not want to hear. I told you it was today's teaching. I did this long ago. I did this from when? Friday. That they might go and fall backward, and be broken, and snared, and taken. So, when we just look at people who, it says, they will not hear. Understand that rebellious people that do not, man, what, I got so far to go. Rebellious people that do not want the truth will stop their ears. They will stop their ears because they don't want to hear the truth. Isaiah 30, verse 8 to 15.
Now go, write it before them in a tablet, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahuwah.
And this, of course, summarizes Shaul or Saul in the story. Rebellion is as witchcraft, and he told lies. He didn't want to obey Yahuwah's commandments. All right? Verse 10.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
So they selectively want to hear people. This is itching ears. They selectively want to hear people that say things that please them. Simple. All the right things, the persons that are prophesying hard things, they don't want to hear. Say, get out of the way. Let me hear this person here because he sounds good. And that is why you have the Christian pastors and everything. They have some great, huge followings. A Christian pastor will rise up now, and by the time you look, 10,000 people, 10, 20,000, 100,000 people following them. Because they tell people what they want to hear. They allow people to live in Babylon and feel comfortable, going through whatever, and just reassure people, yes, just stay and follow this and live Babylon's life, and you are okay. So these people will heartily not even think twice about giving these people. Why do you think Christians give so heartily? They are rewarding the people. Thank you, man. You told me what I want to hear. Yes, man. You make me feel good in my sin. Yeah. So they pay them. And they pay them. There's nothing too good to give them. Because they make them feel comfortable in sin. Verse 11.
Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Yasharal to cease from before us.
Not even the Most High they want. So they go and find God. Yeah? Continue.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Yasharal, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shed to take fire from the heath, or to take water withal out of the pit.
And this reminds me of the dream. You see it? The dream about the wall? Yes. So this is a warning. This is a warning here. Right here. Read.
For thus saith Yahuwah.
No, read from verse 12 again.
No. Therefore, thus saith the Holy One of Yasharal, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression, and perverseness, and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly and at an instant.
All right. So go to verse 1 to see what these rebellious children are doing. Isaiah 30, verse 1.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahuwah, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. That they walk to go into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
So, what we have been teaching is about a rebellious people, a disobedient children. The dream today to me is warning us about people, the same thing here in the dream, about people who are rebellious and disobedient, will not hear the word of the Most High, take counsel of themselves or others, not of Yahuwah. It says that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my ruach, that they may add sin to sin. So it is a warning. When you gather together, you have to make sure you are in Yahuwah's righteousness. All right? So let's go back now to where we were. Verse 15.
For thus saith Yahuwah Alua, the Holy One of Yasharal, in returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not.
Okay. I want you to look at what this is saying, the warning that it is giving. In returning and rest shall ye be saved. In returning and rest. Where is it?
15.
Yeah. Returning there comes from age 7725, a return. And the word rest there means quietness, to be set on, to rest. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, and ye would not. But what did they say? Verse 16.
But ye said, No, for we will flee upon horses. Therefore shall ye flee, and we will ride upon the swift. Therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on an hill.
So guess what? The Most High set up Nazareth for you to return. And in return and rest, the Most High says you will be saved. But they decide, no man, we will flee upon horses. No, we'll do our own thing. We'll go our own way. Let me leave this thing alone, yeah? So, there was a word here that was used. Let me see it. Where was it? The word devices. Where is it? Is the word devices here, or did I misplace this word? There is something here. Let me see if I find it. I don't want to miss it. Let me see what I missed. Whoa, so much. Proverbs. Proverbs 1:31. Let me see if this is it. Verse 30. Verse 28. Let's start at 28. I hope that is it.
Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early.
No. We have to go before that. So this is a principle now. The Most High is calling. Verse 22. The Most High is calling you. But when he calls you for a time, he will not call you forever. There comes a time when he's going to give up. And then he will turn on you. Man, this is another scary stuff. Proverbs 1:22.
How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and will make known my words unto you. Because I have called.
All right. That is his proposition. Turn at my correction, yes? I will pour out my ruach on you. I will make my known words, known my words unto you. But then they did not hear. Then the Most High now turns on us, and he says in verse 24,
Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
These are the disobedient here. I remember we said we have a world of disobedient people. A whole world of disobedient. Verse 26.
I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of Yahuwah. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices.
And they will be filled with their own devices. So that's why I want to look now at the meaning of devices. Meaning of devices. Makashaba, age 4284. Devices, a contrivance. A contrivance. When you contrive something, it's you invent it. The Most High says they will walk in their own inventions. Their own doctrines that they invent. That's what they're going to walk in. That is concretely a texture, machine, or abstractly intention. So they will walk in their own intention. So if they intend to do something, the Most High is going to make their intention look... I told you it was today's teaching. I told you. The intention that they have, he's going to make that intention look right. Plan, whether bad, a plot, or good advice. So if they have a plot or any type of plan, the Most High is going to make their plan look good. Imagination, whatever they imagine in their hearts. Yeah? Yada Yahuwah. Invented. They're going to invent things, and the Most High is going to make what they invent look real. Means purpose. Whatever purpose they have, whatever thought they have, the Most High is God. Because he says, when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear. Who does he speak to? He speaks to his servants. So if you don't want to hear his servants, he's going to make what you invent look so real to you. This is the sad thing about the word. Because you reach to a point of no return. You never know when the Most High is going to say, okay, this you don't want to believe. All right, but believe anything you want to believe. Okay, I'm going to make that look real. And that's what he did to Christianity. Where you have miracles in Jesus' name and all sorts of things. You say, all right, You want to believe in that white boy there? I'm going to make it look so real and so powerful. Yes? That is why people, we seek truth. It is truth that saves you. It is this desire for what is true that can dig you out of those pits. If you have a desire for experience, if you have a desire for what you see as being right, if you are looking on what you see, the Most High always uses the least. When was it Eli or Shamuel? Shamuel was looking for David. David was the last one because he was the least, a little shepherd boy, little tiny, his big muscle up brothers. Shamuel said, nope. Another muscle one. Nope. Another muscle one. Nope. This little tiny little wimp. This is he. This is how the Most High works. With the least. So when the Most High comes, your ways that look so exalted is going to look like the right way. Why do you think Roman Catholicism is the number one religion, the religious denomination in the world? 1 point something billion Catholics I heard one of the time. Garbage religion, idolatry, but yet still. Why? Because they are exalted. The Catholic Church is big, beautiful, rich, powerful. It just goes to the eyes of people. And people attribute that, oh, that is me. Oh. So whatever your devices are. So walking in our own counsels. Here is another problem now. This other problem. And we have experienced this in our groups. Walking in our own counsels. What does it mean to walk in our own counsels? When we are together as groups, and this is one thing I warn people, I tell them, speak to me. Why are you speaking with the other person? If you have a problem, come to me. I almost always can never seem to get people to do this. Why? Walking in our own counsels. When we hear from other persons who have the same desire as us, they are going to hold us where we are. And we are not going to be able to listen to the counsel of Yahuwah. We are going to take counsel together and lock ourselves here. Because now I finally found someone who agrees with me. The person is up here trying to bring you up. You're not going to listen to him because finally you find someone to lock you here. This is what happens to people in assembly, and they never grow forward. It is like in school. And they are in the world, they have a meaning for it. They say misery loves company. In schools, the brilliant children usually walk together, and the time wasters usually walk together. That's just how it is. And they have another saying in the world, birds of a feather do what? Flock together. So you never can get lifted up because you're walking in your own counsel. Psalms 81, 11 to 16. This is another problem of the disobedient, and another problem that keeps you disobedient because you cannot hear the counsel of the Most High. If you are disobedient, you will be in rebellion. So, for example, you will have me here trying to preach and teach the people. And then people go behind my back. Oh, nothing can really take root. When I say something, they start suspect. Oh, this has happened so many times. And but none of these people that I have seen have ever been people who have moved forward spiritually. If they have, I have not known it. Tens upon tens of people who have done this. And I have not seen anyone move forward spiritually to the point where they can come and be an example to teach me something. To say, oh, we rebelled. And we have learned something more than you. No, what you're teaching is wrong. And this is what. And I can say, you know that you have a point or whatever. None. Taking their own counsels, because Psalms 81 verse 11 says,
But my people would not hearken to my voice,
oh boy.
and Yasharal would none of me.
So if you do not want to hearken or hear the voice of Yahuwah, then what will happen?
So I gave them up into their own hearts' lust, and they walked in their own counsels.
And they walked in their what?
Own counsels.
So when the Most High gives you up to your own heart's lust, you are going to walk in your own counsels. That means you are going to gather yourself together with like-minded people who have also been banished by the Most High. And then you are going to believe whatever you want to believe. Verse 13.
Oh, that my people had hearkened unto me, and Yasharal had walked in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies, and turned my hand against their adversaries. The haters of Yahuwah should have submitted themselves unto him.
Stop. The what of Yahuwah?
The haters of Yahuwah.
So the people who the Most High sends a word, and they decide that they are not hearing, they are taking their own counsel. The Most High says, you hate him. And these people are in religion thinking that they are set apart. They have no idea. I wonder what is wrong with these people. Thinking that they are following Yahuwah. Yahuwah says, you hate me. He calls you the hater of Yahuwah. And then read verse 15 again, because it's very critical.
The haters of Yahuwah should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever.
That means no eternal life for you. Hey, people don't understand how critical this thing is. It's very, very... You have to listen to every word and follow every word. Religion has robbed us. Religion has robbed us. This is a very, very tippy-toey, tricky thing. You have to give up everything to be able to live this. I'm telling you, you have to give up yourself, because if you don't deny yourself, when the word comes, you're going to have to try to find a way out. You're going to walk in your own counsels. You're going to contrive. You're going to come up with different things to satisfy you that you're good. How many times people are, oh, you can't tell me anything. Bam, bam, bam. But the Most High is merciful. So he will send warnings through his wisdom. And if we do not hear, then we will perish. We spoke about it earlier in Psalms 1, where he says 1 verse 20. Let's do from verse 20 to just see wisdom, the part of wisdom, because we did the other part.
Psalms 120.
Yes.
Psalms 1. Okay.
Mishlei, Proverbs 1:20.
20. Okay. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and will make known my words unto you.
So, the Most High will use wisdom to try to get us. Wisdom to cry out to us. Uttereth her voice in the streets, crying to us to turn at his reproof. But we had read earlier that we would not want to hear. And because we would not want to hear, then we will be destroyed. So we are like lost sheep gone astray today. Today, lost sheep gone astray. I want you to pay attention to this. Psalms 119, 176. This is what happens to us. We are gone astray like lost sheep, but the shepherd is there, and we refuse the shepherd.
Let, I pray thee.
No, Psalms 119, 176, did I say?
Psalms 119,
176.
76, okay. I have gone astray like a lost sheep. Seek thy servant, for I do not forget thy commandments.
So when Hamashiach was speaking about the lost sheep that has gone astray, this is what David is saying. I have gone astray. Seek me. Seek thy servant. Isaiah 53 verse 6. Prophesying of Yahusha, the shepherd of the lost sheep.
All we, like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahuwah hath laid on him the iniquity of us all.
This is Yahusha Mashiach. So right now, people, we are telling you all of these things that we have read today. Turn to Yahusha HaMashiach. Turn to him. Turn to Yahusha. So how are the lost sheep rescued from Babylon, by the way? Because now we are at the end of Babylon. We have to talk about it. How are the lost sheep rescued from Babylon? And we read it earlier about the house of Judah and the house of Israel asking their way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that cannot be broken. So to save us from ourselves, the Most High is merciful, and he gives us pastors or shepherds to lead us. We looked at that before, Jeremiah 23, 1-4. I don't think we used these verses. Did we? Jeremiah 23, 1-4. Let me see. Yeah.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahuwah.
So for people like us now, like me, who's doing this, I have to make sure that this woe is not upon me. I have to make sure that I'm not destroying and scattering the sheep of his pasture. Because there's a woe. And when the word says woe, boy, this is serious business. Verse 2.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, Eluah of Yasharal, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahuwah. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
This is speaking about the pastors of today. They are fattening themselves off the flock. The Most High says he will gather his remnant, which is what this ministry is about, gathering the remnant of his flock. Verse 4.
And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahuwah.
So he shall set up shepherds over them in the gathering to protect them. This is the mercy of the Most High over his people. But sadly, this is when a lot of people rebel, because when they see the difficulty of this journey, that without denying self, it is almost impossible to go through, they usually rebel or they give up or something. Yes? Something has to break. It is either they break or things break. So, to save us from ourselves, he gives us pastors to lead us. Remember, previously we said he gave us shepherds, pastors or shepherds to lead us. So continue.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto Dawood a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Yehuda shall
No. Where are you?
be... Jeremiah 23.
No, we're at Jeremiah 3:14.
Oh, Jeremiah 3:14.
Yeah, one of those regular verses that we use.
Okay. Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahuwah, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city, and two of a family, and will bring you to Zion.
Now, this is what we tell people. The Most High did not prophesy that you will save yourself and bring yourself and lead yourself and teach yourself. This is a grave error. That's why you have a famine of the word. People are not finding chosen pastors or shepherds or teachers and following them. People are going on their own, doing their own thing. Remember, we spoke about what? Obedience. Obedience. If he said everybody should do this on their own, I would not be here teaching anybody. I will be out there focusing on my own. No matter how much money is involved in teaching and everything, I would be out there on my own. If he said, do it on your own. Well, no, that's not what he did. Verse 15.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
He will give us pastors. Pastors are shepherds. Let me look at verse 15. Look at the meaning of pastors. Again, I will give you pastors. Meaning of pastors. Ra'ah, to tend a flock. That is, pasture it. Intransitively, to graze. Literally or figuratively. Generally, to rule. To rule. By extension, to associate with as a friend. Generally, to rule. He will give you people to rule over you. Keep company with. Devour, eat up, evil entreat, feed, use as a friend, make friendship with, herdman. Keep sheep, pastor, sharing out shepherd, wander ways. So all of these are radical, different. But generally to rule. Persons who tend a flock. That's who the Most High will give you to bring you to understanding. So these true pastors will not be carnal, but they will be walking in Ruach HaMashiach. They will be walking in the Ruach HaMashiach. Romans 8:9. Because the end time pastors, they must have the Ruach HaMashiach. Because a Mashiach will be leading them. So you have to know people who have the Ruach HaMashiach. Romans 8:9.
But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. For so be that the Spirit is of Allure, dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Hamashiach, he is none of his.
So if you have a pastor, a shepherd, a teacher, a leader today that does not have the Ruach HaMashiach, he is none of his. He does not belong to Hamashiach. So guess what's happening in the world again? What? Why you have a famine of the word? Why do you have a famine of the word today? Because most of the people who are teaching do not have the Ruach HaMashiach. They do not have the Ruach of Messiah. Because most of them, Hamashiach is a stumbling stone. They reject Hamashiach. So the true leaders, shepherds, would have gone through tough training or suffering to remove carnality. Just as how Hamashiach learned obedience by the things that he suffered, his chosen people would have gone through suffering to remove carnality to be like Hamashiach. Acts 9:15-16. This is speaking about Shaul, and Hamashiach is going to tell you one great qualification.
But Yahuwah said unto him,
The master.
But the master said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles, and kings, and the children of Yasharal. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake.
There we go. You must suffer great things for the sake of Hamashiach. So those fancy preachers there in this world, with their big mansions and their pretty vehicles, living comfortably, everything they want, they go to the assembly and say, Assembly, I need a new aircraft. Assembly, I need a new airplane. I need a new house. I need a new this. And they get it. Everything comes easy to them. They do not have the Ruach HaMashiach. So having the Ruach HaMashiach, these end-time pastors will be able to guide the sheep into all truth, because if they have the Ruach HaMashiach, Mashiach said that Ruach will guide them into all truth, and not only that, they will also have a prophetic Ruach, because the Ruach that is in them will show them things to come. John 16:13. Oh, the camera is good?
Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come.
That's the Ruach. That's the Ruach. And that's the Ruach that actually, for example, this teaching here today, that's the Ruach. Manifesting everything that we were talking about. Revelation 19:10. We're speaking about he will show you things to come. The spirit of prophecy, that's what we're talking about.
And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahusha. Worship Eloah. For the testimony of Yahusha is the spirit
Ruach of prophecy.
Yes.
Okay? So that's why we dwell in the prophetic here. That's why you hear us flee out of the midst of Babylon and everything, and we are just focused on that. And people in the world are saying, oh, what are these guys talking about? What are these guys? This is a flea doctrine. That's why the people who don't have the Ruach will say, they cannot see it. Because the testimony of Yahusha is the Ruach of prophecy. And to have the testimony of Yahusha, you have to go through rough times. It's not easy. Not easy. So in the end times, the testimony, the Most High's people will gather themselves together in the end time. So having these teachers, we're just making a summary. Now, near the end, we're making a summary of what you have taught before. So that in getting this teaching about obedience, you will get to understand more about the truth of what we have been speaking. So the Most High's people will gather themselves together in the end times before something happens. Before something happens. Zephaniah 2, verses 1-3.
Gather yourselves together, ye gather together, O nation not desired.
This is another one of our verses that in Jamaica we say we bore up hole in it. We pierced so many holes in it because we've used it so many times. Verse 2.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuwah come upon you, before the day of Yahuwah's anger come upon you.
All right, those three verses are very significant. Verse 1 tells us what to do. Gather yourselves together. Verse 2 tells us when we must gather together. Verse 3 tells us what we should do when we gather together.
Seek ye Yahuwah, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahuwah's anger.
All right. So far, like a place like Nazareth now, when you come here, first in verse 1, you gather together. The time when you are together is in verse 2. Before any trouble comes upon this earth, that's when you should gather. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuwah come upon you, before the day of Yahuwah's anger come upon you, that is when you should gather. But when you gather, what shall you do?
Seek ye Yahuwah.
Hold on. Are you to be gathered and fussing and quarreling and this and that? You gather to seek Yahuwah. It's very simple. Because at the end of verse 3, it says, it may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahuwah's anger. So you come here because you have wrought Yahuwah's anger. You come here to seek Yahuwah just in case he will hide you on that day of anger. I tell you that people come together and gather together for all different sorts of things. But in seeking Yahuwah, hey. Seek ye Yahuwah. Seek righteousness. Seek meekness, humility. You don't come here with pride. Humility. Anyway. So when they are gathered together, these pastors will direct his people to Zion. What's that? Let me see it. Who is that? Oh. Is that looks like Zoom? So how is the Zoom coming into this? Let me see something here. I better pin myself. I don't understand how that is happening. All right. Yes. So these people, pastors, will direct his people to Zion. Is your pastor, your leader, directing you to Zion? Is Isaiah 30, verse 19.
For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more.
Oh, wait. You have to go from 18.
And therefore will Yahuwah wait, that he may be gracious unto you. And therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahuwah is a lure of judgment. Blessed are all they that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. Thou shalt weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee.
Wow. Verse 20. And how will he answer you? How will he answer? How will he answer you?
And thou, Yahuwah, though Yahuwah give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers.
What about this little one man? Or this one family who now are going to be directing themselves? Where is the provision for that? It is either you're a chosen teacher or you are to be taught. It's simple. There's no middle ground. But you take your family, or you take this, or you take somebody, or you take yourself and you're leading yourself to Zion. No. Though Yahuwah give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And what shall happen?
And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left.
So they will be correcting you. He will get people to correct you. So if you can't take correction, it means you have not denied yourself. If you have not denied yourself, you have no eternal life abiding in you. Because you cannot be the disciple of Yahusha. And if you are not the disciple of Yahusha, you cannot see Yahuwah, because Yahusha is the way to Yahuwah. Simple. So those of you who don't want correction, don't come here. Set yourself in line and ready to take correction first. Anyway. But those with a disobedient, rebellious heart will not want to be instructed. Very sadly, Isaiah 30, verse 8 to 11. Those with a disobedient, rebellious heart will not want to be instructed. Isaiah 30, verse 8 to 11. Go ahead.
Now go, write it before them in a tablet, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahuwah, which say to the seers, See not, and to the prophets, Prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get ye out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Yasharal to cease from before us.
All right, so nice we have to put this twice, because this was done before. Yes? Those with a disobedient, rebellious heart will not want to be instructed, will not allow themselves to be instructed, but they will rebel. They will rebel. Or they will listen to instruction, agree with it, but not do it. Now, this verse has been used for about 4 weeks straight. Please do not curse me for using it, but it is relevant to what we are saying. Ezekiel 33, verses 30 to 32. They will hear, listen to the instruction, they will hear, they will agree, but they will not do it. And this is disobedience. This is rebellion to the Most High. Ezekiel 33, verses 30. This has been added to our list of 1 verses. Of verses that we saw every week. Just the word goes with that. Ezekiel 33, verse 30.
Also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of their houses, and speak one to another, everyone to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from Yahuwah. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouths they show much love, but their hearts goeth after their own covetousness.
Oh.
And lo, thou art unto them a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument.
For they hear thy words, but they do them not. All right.
And when...
Nope, you don't need that part. All right. So, they either will straight out do not want to hear, or they will hear and not do. 2 sets of people. Actually 3 sets. They will either reject it totally. I don't want to hear anything. And then there'll be those. Yeah, with 2. And they don't want to hear. All right? So, guess what they do? They seek to teach themselves. I told you, it is this teaching. I never knew anything. And look at it. They seek to teach themselves, searching the scriptures, ignoring the Most High's order. I didn't touch this. This was done before. That conversation that we had, I did this from Friday. That's the Ruach. John 5:37-40.
And the Father himself, which hath sent me, hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. And ye have not his word abiding in you. For whom he hath sent, him ye believe not.
They don't believe in Mashiach. And so what do?
Search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life. And they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me, that ye might have life.
So in verse 38 it says, whom he hath sent, him ye believe not. It's the same thing. Those who Hamashiach has sent, they also do not believe him. Because Hamashiach said, if they hate you, just remember they hated me first. So everything that they did to Hamashiach, they will do to Hamashiach's servant. So if they didn't believe if they didn't believe Hamashiach, they are not going to believe his servants. So what they do, they search the scriptures. Because now, and this is why you have this load of false religion. People search the scriptures because they want to run around Hamashiach. Hamashiach is too hard. So they search the scriptures to find something to justify them. And so they focus. You have some of them get so fed up, they say, okay, New Testament is false. Old Testament only. Because Hamashiach becomes so hard and so much of a stumbling block. They say, you know what, I can't deal with this man here. Too much requirements, man. No, sir. And so they rub out Hamashiach. They don't want. And they search the scriptures, and even with his servants, they find all sorts of things in the scriptures to justify their ends. But what is the solution? Obedience and subjection. Simple, very easy. Obedience and subjection. The Most High calls people to rule us, to lead us, to have the rule over us. In the New Testament, you are called together. In the Old Testament, they were called together. Think about it, Yahweh has not changed. In the Old Testament, Yasharal were gathered together as a nation. That is when the Most High ruled them. In the New Testament, we are called together in assemblies, in congregations. Just like in the Old Testament, there was one congregation, the congregation of Yasharal, that was divided into 12 different congregations according to the 12 tribes. Each tribe was led by a leader of the tribe, followed by the officers, there's an order that went down. And in the New Testament, it's the same thing. He calls people to have the rule over us. He gathers us in assemblies and has his order in the assemblies. But the disobedient people do not want to be under his order. Everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants to rule. Hebrews 13, verse 7. It is an order. He gathers his people together in assemblies, just as how his people were gathered together in the Old Testament. Remember, in the Old Testament, one of the worst things that he could do to us, he says, and I will scatter you. What does that mean? When he scatters us, he's not going to be among us. He doesn't work with individuals. When you want to see the power of the Most High, be gathered in a set-apart assembly, and you will see him there. So he gathers us together. So in this New Testament here, who are you gathered together with? Because it is also, suicidal to be gathered with certain people. You have to know the right people. You have to know. Gathered with the wrong people. Woo. I've had my fair share of that. Hebrews 13, verse 7.
Remember them which have the rule over you.
Which have the what?
The rule over you.
The rule over you. The meaning of rule over. Hagemo. Let me restart. Hegeomai. Something like that. Something like that, yes? What does it mean? To lead. Obey them that lead you. To command with official authority. Obey them who have the official authority to have command over you. Figuratively, to deem, that is consider, account, be chief. Remember them which are chief over you. Count, esteem, governor. Obey them who are governors over you, who have the rule over you. The Most High gives us people to have the rule over us. Who have spoken unto you the word of Yahweh. The Most High gives you people to speak unto you the word of Yahweh because he knows that we ourselves, because our hearts are desperately wicked. Who can know it? Because our hearts are desperately wicked, we are always going to choose the things that makes us comfortable and not necessarily the way of Yahuwah. And so he says, you know what? I'm going to help you. I'm going to put you in an assembly, and I'm going to set my servant over you, and he is going to speak unto you the word of Yahuwah. Listen to him. Because he is chosen of my son to do what he is doing. Remember them which have the rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of Allah, whose faith follow. Considering the end of their conversation, considering their behavior. Follow their faith. And when he says whose faith follow, faith coming from hearing and hearing by the word, these people would be hearing the word, and these people would have gone through hard, tough times in order to build up their emunah. So he will not put anyone in your assembly to lead you who has less faith than you do. So if you are being led by someone who does not have any emunah, I'm very sorry. The Bible does not validate that person. The person who's leading has to have great emunah so that you will have an example to follow. Verse 17 of Hebrews 13.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy, and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you.
Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves. Submit yourselves to them. This is what most people coming from Babylon find it hard to do. And submit yourselves. For or because they watch for your souls. That's what we are here for, to watch for your souls. And when they watch for your souls, sometimes some things will happen and you don't even believe that, you find it hard to believe that these people are watching for your souls. It's not always what it appears. But in the back of these people's mind, because Yahuwah loves and he chastens you, you will be going through chastening among these people and think that these people don't even care for you. But the Most High will keep these people away. When the Most High is chastening you, the Most High will even keep these people away from you so that you go through your chastening. There are a whole lot of different things to this thing. As they that must give account, so we must give account for your souls. So, for example, when you come among me, you must know that whatever I do, I know, have it in the back of my mind. Hey, I have to give an account to Yahuwah for this soul. I have to do what it takes to turn around this soul. I have to do what it takes to make sure this soul grows. All of those things has to be in the back of my mind. And sometimes people even care, oh, you don't care about me. They don't even know the different forces that are at work, the different thinking and the different things that go through in our perfection. That they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. So the Most High is going to hold you accountable. If you make these people's lives miserable and grievous, the Most High, you're going to have to account for that. So the biggest problem in an assembly, let me say it plain and straight, women not in subjection. And this is what we're talking about this morning. Women not in subjection. And this has been my experience. Yes? This has been my experience. The biggest problem in an assembly is women that are not in subjection. 1 Corinthians 4, 34 to 38.
Let your women keep silent in the assemblies, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, and also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
What? Came the word of allure out from you, or came it unto you only? If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of Yahuwah. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant.
All right. Shaul was laying out very, very plainly, that a woman must not speak in the assembly. It is not permitted for them to speak. But as I was saying earlier with women, Babylon has spoiled the woman. Women leaders, women pastors, ministers, women prime ministers, women at the head of every single thing. Women at the heads of everything. So when they come into the way now, they are so used to speaking and expressing themselves. When they come in the assembly and not to speak, very, very difficult. And when they do get a chance to express themselves, usually it will be okay for a while, but when emotions come in, problems. So subjection is part of obedience. So if a woman is not in subjection, a woman is being disobedient. And being disobedient, then it means you are rebellious. Okay? But most people do not want to obey. So Messiah and the written word becomes a stumbling block. So we are concluding now. The reason there is a famine of the word is that most people do not want to obey. And they might want to obey. I don't even know if to say they don't want to obey. They refuse to obey. They come to the word and the word says what it says. And they hear the word and they like the word. But somehow they cannot bring themselves to obey. They will talk the word and everything, but they will not obey. 1 Peter 2, 5 to 8. For them, Hamashiach becomes a stumbling stone.
Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and an holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahuwah by Yahushua Hamashiach. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, Behold, I lay in Sion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded.
He that believeth on him, and believe on him is to walk as he walked, shall not be confounded. Verse 7.
Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and a stone of stumbling,
And
a rock of offense,
unto
even to them which stumble at the word,
being
disobedient,
okay.
whereunto also they were appointed.
Oh boy. Being what? Disobedient. You see, we're talking about disobedience, people. If you are disobedient, Mashiach is a stumbling stone. And we are going to conclude with the stumbling stone. Let us hear what the stumbling stone has to say. And you're going to see that this way that we're cultured and these religions that we're given in the world is nothing compared to the truth. Books of the Nazarene, chapter 9, page 96, verse 56. We're going to read to the very end. We're going to see this stumbling stone and see why there is a famine of the word. Because people are afraid of this. They are afraid of following Hamashiach. So there is religion. And everybody tries to avoid Hamashiach. Read from verse 56 for me, please. Man, it's too much reading. You don't have Nazarene?
I'm going to get it for now.
Yeah.
I get it from the website, Alter.
Yes. So let me talk in the meantime. The stumbling. So is there something wrong with it still? Oh, you got Nazarene. She got Nazarene there.
Oh, you do.
Oh.
So it's almost like you'd kind of have to be scrolling.
Yeah, but do it on that.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ionia, but it's going to be very difficult.
Yes,
all right, so,
thank you, sir.
yeah. Obedience is the key. And we have to know, and by the way, we are in the process of creating a website totally dedicated to Judah go home, to the house of Judah, focusing on this, fleeing out of the midst of Babylon, the call to come out of her. Everything will be focused on that, and we are working on that website so that everything to do with coming out of her, with asking the way to Zion, with everything to do with returning to the kingdom, everything will be on that website, and it will be just about that. If the whole idea is if you are ministering to people, you don't have to be pulling up verses here and there. You can just give them that website and say, hey, here is one thing that has everything in there that you need to know about coming out of her, etc. All right? You've got it?
Yeah, Book of the Nazarene, what page, Alter?
Page 96. So that is where we are at the moment as we await our brother here. Verse 56, page 96. All right, wait on a Mashiach, please. Please don't go anywhere.
Okay, I've got it. Page 96, okay. Page 90, is it it starts with the parable.
Now, the things you surely do not need.
Page 96.
No, man. Go. This is page 123.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
All right, sorry about that.
Okay, sorry.
Verse 56 now.
The things you surely do not need are comfort and content, while assurance and security open the gates to spiritual apathy.
You do not need comfort and content. Tell the people in this world that. Because most religions are based on comfort and content. Everybody strives to be comfortable and content. Yeah? Let's hear from the stumbling stone. That is why he's a stumbling stone. Nobody wants to live this life of life. But the way to the kingdom is ignoring comforts in this world with the hope that all of the comforts are going to be in the world to come. But most people cannot ignore this world. This is the stumbling stone, Yahushua HaMashiach. Read it, please.
Enter by the narrow, unpretentious gate, for the road leading to the dark abyss has a wide road and attractive entrance, while the gate leading to immortality is austere, and the road fraught with difficulties.
Stern, austere. When you come into the Most High, and everybody looking for this easy pace and this nice path, and oh, it's so nice here, and oh, everything is perfect. No, sir. Problem. That's the way of the Most High. Trouble. That is why it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 2, my son, when you come to serve Yahuwah, prepare your heart for temptation. It's not easy. Let's hear from the stumbling stone, verse 57.
Beware of false prophets and those who would mislead you. For many seeking to promote their own ends
Money.
walk the ways of righteousness,
Yes.
clothed in sheepskins,
Yes.
but are hypocrites, being ravening wolves within.
Want your money.
Those who indicate an easy path are false guides.
So because they want your money, they have to tell you an easy path because they know that's what your flesh wants. That's what you want to hear. So let us give you what you want to hear. False guides. Continue.
And those who say another can absolve them from the effects of their misdeeds expound an error. You will know them by the effects of their teachings, just as a good tree is recognized through the fruit it bears. Can the wild thorn produce grapes, or a fig found growing on thistles? If a tree fails to produce good fruits, it is cut down and burned, for it can serve no better purpose. Therefore I say, judge men by the fruits of their labors.
That's how you judge people to know whether you must follow them, yeah? Verse 59 now.
Some hail me as their leader, thinking this will help them in the life to come. But it will not. Only those who wholeheartedly serve the cause and the purpose of Yahuwah will enjoy this in full glory.
See it, we spoke about it earlier wholeheartedly, that if you even serve him partially, Shaul partially got it right. Yeah? What the Most High says, he repented me, he has not followed me. Only those who wholeheartedly serve the cause of Yahuwah. Boy, I'm telling you, it's not an easy road. Continue.
Many who do things in my name will expect me to intercede for them. But to these I will say, I did not know you, or authorize the statements you made. By your deeds shall you be judged.
And he told us those who work iniquity or lawlessness, these are those who he does not know. So there are many people who say they are believers and are disobedient. And they swear on the name of Yahuwah that they are Yahuwah's children and Yahusha is this, and they call their names. Serious thing, this thing is not an easy thing, people. Verse 60.
This does not apply to those who, hearing my words, put them into practice.
That's it. That's the difference. This now is not the stumbling stone. This is the one now who is precious. Because we hear the word and put it in practice. But when we hear the word and don't put it into practice, it's another thing. Verse 60.
This does not apply to those who, hearing my words, put them into practice. For they are like the sensible man who built his house on a foundation of rock. The rain poured down, and the floods arose. The wind howled above and beat against the house, but it did not collapse because it was set firmly. But there be many who, hearing these words of mine,
Many.
will ignore them. And these,
What you been talking from this how long now? Hearing the words and they try to go around Yahusha. These are the people who give trouble in this world. These are the people who cause the famine of the world and give trouble. Everywhere they go, it's trouble. Because they want to go around Yahusha. What happens to them?
but there will be many who, hearing these words of mine, will ignore them. And these may be likened to a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain poured down, the floods rose, and the wind howled and beat against the walls, and the whole house collapsed.
Wow. So these are those of us who ignore the words of Yahusha. I remember the dream. Remember the dream about the wall
Yes.
collapsing and the house, the water coming in. You see it? This is it. Hear the words and ignore them. This is a dream. The rain poured down, the floods rose, the wind howled and beat against the walls, and the whole house collapsed. Yahusha HaMashiach. Yahusha HaMashiach. It's the key. Verse 62.
I herald the coming of the rule of Elohim and a reborn world. I accept those who follow my way and will lead them into their kingdom. I reject all those who are against my way.
You see it. You see why you have a famine of the word? Are you seeing it?
Nice.
Yahusha is the way. And everyone else is trying to find another way. I make Yahusha who they want him to be. He says, I accept those who follow my way, but I reject all who are against my way. So we have a whole world of rejects. You see that religion called Hebrew Israelism. Wicked, wicked religion. Because imagine, our minds were opened up as to the lie of Jesus Christ. And they came and gave us another lie called Yahweh Shai. Another false Messiah called Yahweh Shai. Not following the true Messiah of the scriptures. Humility and all those things that come with Messiah, it is not there with them. Let's continue.
I call upon men of good will to follow us, men who wholeheartedly desire the light and oppose the way of darkness. But the road may be long and beset by many foes.
Well, we can attest to that.
Yet have no fear of those who come with swords and fiery words. Their danger is apparent. Those who will be our undoing are the hypocrites and self-deceivers, who pay lip service only and
manipulate the words of the Torah to accord with their convenience. I told you. What's today's teaching? I told you.
I tell you this. Many will come, but few will be selected.
This is a stumbling stone. Yahusha HaMashiach. Many will come. Few. That's why we remain a few. Verse 64.
Moshe viewed the promised land only from Pisgah. Let this not be your fate.
Oh boy.
Face the difficulties ahead. Overcome the evildoers who maintain the rule of evil, and claim your reward.
You see it? It's problems. Problems is our challenge. Problems. And I don't like problems. But when the problems come, I have to just accept it. It's a part of the journey. But I'll be lying if I tell you that I like problems. Oh, I enjoy problems. No. But you have to have that mindset when the problem comes and say, well, so it is. We'll have to overcome this. It's just something to overcome. I welcome it. I said, okay, let me see how I'm going to overcome it. As if it's a game. Because it's going to come. Continue.
The sword is drawn, but the battle has yet to be won.
65.
In the reborn world, the wolf shall lay down with the lamb, and the lion with the kid, and a little child shall play with them. Surely, because of their goodness and goodwill, even the wild beasts will submit themselves to the will of those who participate in the rule of Elua.
So it's humility. Bring you down to the level of a child that will make you participate in the kingdom. That's why I said if you're not like this little child, you cannot enter the kingdom. Next verse, please.
When Yahusha finished speaking, the great assembly of people was silent.
Can just imagine.
For unlike other teachers, he appeared inspired by divine authority, but within moments they were excitedly discussing the words among themselves. Then a disciple who stood beside Yahusha shouted, "All who serve Yahuwah praise him, for he has sent the true enlightener and the deliverer, and will himself reign over us through the Ruach which fills his Son."
Okay. By the way, this Yahusha is Yahuwah business. You see how this defeats this? All who serve Yahuwah praise him, for he has sent the true enlightener and the deliverer, and will himself reign over us. Yahuwah is going to reign over us through the Ruach which fills his Son. So his Son will be the king ruling, but the Ruach of Yahuwah that fills his Son will be Yahuwah ruling over us through his Son. Boy, this thing is so simple. Continue.
Heed these things, follow the way of Yahusha, take up the stake of life, and the rule of Elua is at hand.
Continue.
There were many among the crowd who said, "Surely this is Yahuwah's anointed."
No, man, surely this is Yahuwah.
No. Yahuwah's anointed, for whom we have long awaited. Now we will be delivered according to the promises of the prophets.
You see, they were waiting for this man.
Yes.
He was a man. Continue.
Hearing the things said by the people among themselves, Yahusha was saddened and said to Bartholomew, who stood near him, "Tomorrow they will revert to their old way of life
You see?
and permit evil to reign through hypocrisy,
Through
through hypocrites and self-deceivers."
You see? It's like on the internet. They hear the word, and they will hear us speaking the word, and they say, wow. And then, by tomorrow, they're going to listen to somebody else. And the person tell them, lead them gone a whole different other place to be deceived. Hypocrites and self-deceivers. Continue. How can they
be brought to understanding that should Yahuwah intervene to bring about the rule of Elua, earth and mankind will have failed him and be unworthy of his rule? Life's purpose is to produce shepherds, not sheep, but the lives of the people are turned inward upon themselves.
Continue.
It was now late in the day, but many people still lingered. And a disciple said to Yahusha, "Master, the crowd was very large, and many did not hear all your words. Could you not speak to these? For though hungry, they would rather listen to you." Yahusha said, "My throat aches, but I have bread more satisfying than that which fills the stomach. and meat more satisfying than worldly meat. My supply is inexhaustible.
Yes?
I have multiplied this through you. So now you go among the people and provide what they need.
All right. So that's why he said, life's purpose is to produce shepherds, not sheep. So when he speaks, multiplies it unto us. When we speak, we multiply it unto others. But this is the word of, these are the words of the stumbling stone. Yahusha Hamashiach. So, this is what we had to present today. Disobedience, how disobedience destroys us and damns us. How the world today is filled with people who are disobedient, which is why we have a famine of the word, because the word and the truth, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the joy is only given to those who are willing to obey. Without obedience, there will be confusion. And in the end time, the Most High will raise up teachers to teach and to lead his people. Rest of the people who are not teachers or leaders will have to find these people to be led by them. But sadly, this world is filled with individualism, filled with people who want to pilot themselves. And we have shown that piloting yourself with that wicked heart that we have is going to be futile. But what does the Most High do? The Most High raises up people who he makes go through tough training, tough times. He raises up people who go through things that you do not have to go through, so that they are able to handle the word in truth. They are able to handle the word without emotions. They are able to handle the word for what it says and to bring out the truth. Because if you have not gone through tough purging and cleansing and all sorts of things, if you have not gone through it, when you hold the word, you are going to deal with the word as you are going to deal with the word as how you desire the word to be felt. So to avoid that, he gives you people over you to lead you and to instruct you as to this is what the word says. This is what you should be doing. Because of that, you now can be brought in the right path and along the right way. By yourself, your desires, your sinful heart, self-justification, self-righteousness, self-centeredness, self-everything is going to poison you and it's going to lead you in the wrong path. The Most High said, your eyes shall see your teachers. He told you in the last days, he will raise up pastors according to his own heart, which shall feed you with understanding. All right? What are you doing? Roving over the internet, moving here, moving there, itching ear, going from teacher to teacher. That is the sure way to destruction. Because we are in a famine of the word, and moving here, moving there will bring you right in the famine. You have to know, find the teachers of the Most High. Find a teacher that is sent by the Most High and come out of disobedience, because the Most High judges disobedience as rebellion. Rebellion against the Most High and against his word. Are you a rebel? Because if you are a rebel, he says, obedience is as witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Come out of all of those things. Come out of her, my people, come out of her. All right? So, and for all those people who have heard all this time about fleeing out of Babylon and come out of her, and you have not done anything, you are in rebellion to the Most High. Let me just tell you that. You are in rebellion. Simple. We have to seek out Yahusha. We have to follow him. The Ruach Mashiach says, come out of her. The Ruach Mashiach is guiding us. The breaker has gone out before us to lead us. But yet still, we do not want to be led by him. All right? Wake up, my people. come out of rebellion. Those people who have heard come out of her and sit in Babylon, and you go and you're dead every day and every week, and you're in meetings and you're talking about it and all of that. Trouble. Yeah? Trouble. We have been getting some dreams here and some things, some prophetic dreams, and they are not nice at all. And you might have heard us discussing them today. Anyway. Thank you all for listening. Only hope this was edifying to you. Let me go now to YouTube to see if there are any questions. All right. D'Angelo says 99.99% of people will never give up their wealth, property, money, and lifestyle. And that is why the road, it says, narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there be that find it. 99.9% of people will never give up their wealth, property, money, and lifestyle. I can easily see most people rolling the dice and taking their chances and stay in Babylon. Yeah, you're so right. Fleeing Babylon is not feasible for a lot of people in the Western countries. I beg to differ. It is feasible, but not desirable of them. This lesson is good for me. Partial obedience is still disobedience. I'm guessing that might explain why a lot of our people will not be saved. Kenneth Wesley saying, where do I go? If I get on the plane in the next day or two, where would I go in South Africa? Leave a message on the contact form on our website, justtheword.org. Kenneth. And as to how I can contact you with your WhatsApp or whatever. And I will contact you. All right, somebody's asking where are the borders. Somebody asked that question yesterday, and I actually sang a song to let them know where the borders are. So you can check out yesterday's teaching, Arise and Depart, for where are the borders. You heard me?
Yeah.
All right. He said he has text messaged me several times. I don't know. I think I saw one. Message me, please, because I don't know if I'll find that. All right. You have to go to the Eden territories. All right, I'm just if there is silence. Is there a video I could watch to get more understanding? This is why we want to set up the website, to get everything that people need to know about this fleeing thing on one little website. Um, 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 um. I had disturbing dream. Female pastor I know was preaching from a casket. She was lying in it dead, but still teaching. The crowd initially shocked. Then they began to receive as normal. What a dream! Wow, what a dream! She did, but they were shocked, and then they decided they continued to receive it. Boy, people just love to be deceived. Urgent message. Tawada, teacher, Kazakh, and reader, I yearn for this since I first heard your message. I pray it is most will for me and my family. Not all of us are chosen. Pandemic welled out some. I don't know. They are blinded by wealth. I am reading the book Order of the Ancients, writings of Eliyahu. I must read. We must understand the order of the ancients. That's a perfect read, Ray. Yeah. The Most High loves His people. He's giving us chances after chances to get it right, but we are still being misguided. All right. All right. Thank you very much for all those who are on YouTube. All praises to the Most High that we have come to the end of this here teaching today. Shalom, shalom. Thank you all those who were contributing, those who were left their comments. Please, we are asking you to leave a comment on this video on YouTube so that it can help with the algorithm. Please leave a comment on this video, those of you, and if not yet, please like if you do like. On my way home says, can I be joined as a stranger? Please send all communication to our website, justaword.org. Go to the contact page, justaword.org/contact, and leave us a message, and we'll try to get back to you, Yahuwah willing. All right? All praises to the Most High, and shalom.